things I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubt. And I have my doubt that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. That we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Yeah, Jen's probably wondering when I'm going to get all the stuff back in there and get that door closed too. But anyway, I'll get her done. I keep my tools in there, so anytime I need a tool, yeah. So anyway, man, old Potato Joe, he's going to have us in conflict. And it's going to be in pretty short order, I do believe. There seems to be a whole lot going on as far as build-up. And, you know, we often hear about the U.S. and when they send troops over and stuff. But there's all kinds of countries that are throwing their hat in the ring, so to speak. At this point, I don't see how it can not go hot. I mean, you put that many people together for a dance, and you can be pretty certain that dance is going to happen. And I have a feeling that things are going to get kicked off pretty shortly here. So all we can do is keep watching it, keep getting ready in any way that we can, and not lose our heads and not put ourselves completely into that so that we're not looking at other things. Speaking of other things, it looks like the convoy's headed back for California. So that was just spoke about tonight during the night meeting. Apparently, Brian had a couple of things to do. He had a couple things to do, and he needs to make some money. So he needs to run a load or two. And 1 second. And then he will return to the convoy. Now, when that is, I don't know. I would assume, considering they sounded like they were going to head out pretty quick, he's going to have to do it en route somewhere. Because tomorrow there is a rally, I want to say in Harrisburg, and so they're gonna head out about 6 a.m. and go attend that rally, and then I guess they're gonna come back to Hagerstown and start getting ready to head out. So when exactly they're gonna head out, when they're gonna leave, I don't know. I don't necessarily think they know yet. But the decision, as far as I know, is completely made. They are going to convoy back to California. The reason being is there are a slew of bills and legislation, whatever you want to call it. And it's pretty crazy. You'd have to watch the meeting to get the list of bills they're trying to get passed through in California. But that is essentially what prompted Mike Landis to think about heading back that way in support of the people in California. And then I assume they're going to convoy back to D.C. So this is going to get interesting. We'll see how it does. We'll see how it holds up. I will say this. I think it's a good idea to get something fresh going on. I think this whole doing loops around the Beltway thing and stuff like that, I think was getting a little bit stale. And I think they needed something to kick things up again. Convoy back across the country just might do that. It's going to re-energize people. And see, here's the thing, and this is huge. Weather is a huge factor when it comes to events like this. And, old man Winters being a bitch and just not letting go. And it's not really that bad. It's actually really mild, but, say that to the person standing out in 30-degree, blowing sleet and all of that, to listen to people speak. That's a different story entirely. So, I think it's a good idea. I think it'll buy him a little bit of time. Go back out to D.C., raise a little hell out there. California, raise a little hell out there. Come back to D.C. At that point, the cool weather should be all but gone. And that's what you want. right? You want people to be able to, we'll say, camp out comfortably. That is perfect, if you will, protest weather, because then you can get more people involved. When it's cold, when it's crappy weather, you really are going to take a hit when it comes to your attendance. And so I think they did pretty damn good. I will forever be shocked at the involvement in Canada. I will forever be shocked at that. That was amazing. And until the police moved in and did what they did, that didn't really show any signs of slowing down at all. And so I find that very interesting. Now, their method was much different than ours. We weren't parked in D.C. occupying the space yet. But, that's going to make for a different, everything's going to be different. So we'll see. Like I say, I'm looking forward to this, actually, because I think it'll re-energize people. I think it'll bring more eyes to the movement once again. I did send a message to Chris that's works. I don't know if she is an organizer or just works with the organizers or whatever. But I did send a message to her, with advice to try to contact Tim Pool. And I know Tim would be more than happy to have them on his show. No doubt he'd be more than happy. And, I mean, if he gets... Brian's not there right now, but Mike could go on the show. Thing is they're right there. They're right there by D.C. So, who knows? Either that or maybe they can catch Tim when they come back to hit D.C. on their way back from California. So, we'll see. We will see. I'm a little bit tired. I don't know why I'm extra tired today, but I am. It actually wasn't nearly as hard for me keeping up today because I didn't try. There really wasn't a whole lot going on as far as the convoy was concerned. So I didn't run around like a chicken with my head cut off watching streams and trying to keep straight what's all going on. So anyway, I don't have any tabs up because there's quite a few headlines, and, well, what more can I say? War. That definitely looks like the direction we're heading, and I'm not seeing anything whatsoever to change that at all. I keep looking for even little indicators. And the only indicators at all that I have seen of de-escalation is what little bit of talking that Russia and Ukraine has been doing. And that's it. Oh, man. So, I don't know. Like I say, like I've been telling folks, keep getting ready. Keep getting ready. Keep at it. Sew up as many loose ends as quickly as possible as you can. I don't know. I can't tell you where we're headed. I really can't. I sit there sometimes when I'm knee deep in this convoy stuff, and I even ponder the thought once in a while. Am I wasting my time, focusing so much time on the convoy when it looks like that's going to be pretty much all for naught anyway? Because if we're involved in a global conflict, I'm pretty sure the convoy's probably going to go away. And that's simply because people are going to be going to their families to be able to take care of them. So, pretty sure that's going to be the biggest concern, the biggest focus on many of us is just going to be able to take care of our own. So, unfortunately, I think that's where we're headed. Not good news, but at least I'm straight with you about it. And I'm not going to sit here and fearmonger you to death. And I'm going to be realistic. If it looks like it's going to be a serious nuclear conflict, a serious exchange, I wouldn't put thousands or tens of thousands of dollars into trying to be able to make it through that. And I'm talking about with suits and masks and tablets and this and that and the other thing. Because I'm telling you, I'm starting to hear good advice that some channels are putting out, like, get tarps to put over, your garden areas and stuff like that. And that's great advice. That's absolutely great advice. There's still a problem, though. Is that going to be enough? You might be able to keep yourself and another alive for an extended period of time with the garden. My question is that alone going to be enough? And I'll tell you what, I think if there were to be a serious exchange of nuclear weapons, I think that is the one time I would be more willing to throw in the towel than any other. Because I understand what it takes to come back from that. And I understand that many people, don't get me wrong, I will fight until my last breath, so don't misunderstand me. But that's just it. That's what it's going to be for many, many, many people. Is they are going to be spending their last breaths trying to just decontaminate enough earth to be able to get some crops that are safe to eat. Chances are they'll never get to taste any of those crops. And that's a fact. That's a reality. And it may sound morbid, but I'm not going to sit here like these other channels and fearmonger you, although that probably sounded like I was making a pretty good effort. I'm just going to tell you straight how it is. I've got no medical subscription to sell you, which is one of the latest things. I've heard several start selling those medical subscriptions. I'm not going to say the brand. I don't want to get in any trouble or anything. But what's funny is I've heard a couple of the channels that always had been, prior to them getting involved in that, they'd always been, oh yeah, fish antibiotics, go to vet, yeah, it's just perfectly fine. It's the same thing as human, blah, 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 And ever since they started selling those, it's like, it'd be better to have a doctor. And, it's just so hypocritical. But anyway, totally different subject. I just want you folks to be knowledgeable. Because I do think that some channels make it seem like, oh, you go buy this, 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 and this, and you can't lose. But when you're looking at having to either protect or replace your topsoil in order to grow crops, that's a tall order. And that's just one thing. I mean, there's a list of things. There's a list of things. Power is likely going to be out for a large swath, if not all, of the country. Now, that alone, they have come up, they've researched it. Their claim is, if we would lose the power grid within a year, 90% of the population would be dead. That's if we lose the power grid. Now, consider losing the power grid and having contaminated soil. That should probably put a little bit more perspective of the battle that we're looking at. I think a lot of people really don't think how much has to go into to recover from nuclear conflict. It's crazy. It's crazy. I was as a kid, I was terrified of it. I saw the movie the day after, and I can remember going to school. I can remember the school sending home a note with us for our parents, letting them know about the movie, and advising them when and where it would be on, so they could make a choice whether or not I should watch it. Well, I don't remember. I think they left it up to us, but I watched it, and it scared the holy hell out of me, which was the whole point of the movie. The whole point of the movie was to get that generation of people, Gen X, if you will, to get Gen X to push against nuclear proliferation. I never can say the word right. And it worked. It worked. Look at those that are really coming out now and speaking up and speaking loud against the thought of nuclear conflict. A lot of it's Gen Xers. A lot of it's Gen Xers for a reason, right? Gen Xers and I guess Boomers, right? The ones that, Gen Xers really didn't do that. I never did a nuclear bomb test or whatever. I never did that. Did tornado drills, but that's different. But I never did do that. But the older generations were duck and cover veterans, if you will. And, I would say probably Boomers and Gen X are probably the two that are probably speaking up the most against this. And I think a lot of that was because of our experiences with the Cold War when that was going on. So, anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox about it. I just... That's not a good situation. And, I listen to a lot of different people's thoughts and opinions on where they think we're at. A lot of same channels you probably listen to. Of course, I listen to Tim Pool. I do think Tim's a little bit... I do think he's using a little bit of normalcy bias, though. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's right, and I hope I'm wrong. But, I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as to say that I think that this is going to turn into an all-out conflict. I mean, as far as a nuclear conflict. I think it's going to be an all-out conflict. I just don't think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be nuclear annihilation. I won't go as far as to say that I don't think nuclear weapons will be used, but I think they will be used very, very strategically. And, they will be tactical nuclear weapons. So, I don't think it's going to be an all-out, mutually assured destruction or no nonsense like that. No, I think they have far too many other weapons at their disposal, and I think we'll be seeing and hearing about a lot of those in the very near future. I have a feeling we're gonna lose GPS, so I would get ready for that. I would get ready for that because that would just make sense. That would be a strategic thing to do. I think in the least, we can expect to lose the grid and GPS before it's all said and done. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Anyway. Dang it. Ears itching like hell now. Oh, what the hell. Guess I could do some headlines and get the heck out of here. Dang it. Jab a pin in my ear or something. I don't know. Alright. You guys might want to see it. Ouch. Gotta have a few vapes. Fun times. Alright. Starting, of course, with headlines from Friday morning. Australia sanctions Russian journalist. North Korea explains its intercontinental ballistic missile test. India cancels UK delegation visit, says media. Chinese foreign minister visits India to discuss Ukraine. Russia restricts assets of unfriendly states. EU won't let Russia avoid sanctions by trading in rubles. Then I would imagine that EU's not getting the energy they want, so... rubles for gas plan breaches contract, says EU. Dude's about ready to, go to war with you, and you're talking paperwork? Okay. Russia's ex-president explains decision to ditch dollar for gas trade. See, that's what... I don't think these other nations... I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. I have no idea. But, I don't think that Russia really gives a damn about the sanctions and all that nonsense. Not in the least. I don't think it really hurts them. I think it's an aesthetic thing more than anything. I think it's aesthetic because you're talking about very, very wealthy, powerful people that have many, many, many ways around about anything that could be thrown at them. So, the little circus sideshow sanctions really aren't worth the paper they're written on, literally. Moscow dismisses talk of gold reserves trapped abroad. Ukraine asks U.S. to supply it with 1,000 missiles per day, says the media. Well, hell, I'd be good with that. Yeah, give me 1,000 missiles a day. I'd take that. Sure. Qatar says replacing Russian gas is impossible. Turkey rejects idea of transferring S-400 air defense systems to Ukraine. Moscow wants U.S. to comment on Hunter Biden's alleged link with Ukrainian biolabs. Well, I think we the people would like the U.S. to comment on that. Europe blocks payment to Russian investors. Kremlin responds to claim it used banned munitions in Ukraine. Again, this is Friday's news. EU strikes deal to buy gas from the U.S. Russian tree is canceled. That's right. Even Russian trees are evil. They're racist. I heard they're racist. U.S. clarifies if it'll use chemical weapons. Like they're going to say, oh, yeah, we kind of plan to. Russia raises, although Potato Joe just might do that. I better not say that. Potato Joe. Let's see. Russia raises grain export tax. Russia discusses tensions in Nagorno-Karabakh with Azerbaijan. Interpol president probed for torture, says media. I would think being probed would be torture, but hey. Europe uses Russophobia to pursue its own interests, says Russia's ex-president. Putin hits back at attempts to cancel Russia. Russian ambassador targets Italian newspaper over Putin article. Britain sanctions Russia's gold. China grounds Boeing 737s after deadly crash. UK Home Secretary tricked into saying Britain plays dirty in prank call. Moscow updates number of casualties suffered in Ukraine conflict. Ukraine crisis marks end of globalization, says BlackRock. A whistleblower exposes Microsoft's massive foreign bribery network. Biden appears to suggest U.S. troops going into Ukraine. Yeah, fun times. Man, that dude. Saudi oil depot attacked ahead of F1 race. China negotiates secret deal in South Pacific, says media. Spotify announces complete withdrawal from Russia. Armenian PM phones Putin over Nagorno-Karabakh escalation. And New York office workers consider fleeing amid surging crime. EU nations band together to buy gas. Hunter Biden did fund Ukraine biolabs, emails published by the media suggest. No kidding. Imagine that. Hang on, coffee time, because we're to yesterday's news already. Be out of here on record time for a Sunday. I'm good with that because it's my Monday. The weather going back and forth, it tears the hell out of me. And it's right in the middle of a swing, so I want spring to stay sprung and on our way into summer. Alright, now to yesterday's news headlines. West waging total hybrid war on Russia, says Lavrov. Russia claims first stage of Ukraine offensive complete. Lessers worry as deadline looms for return of Russian planes. UK backtracks on Tinkoff. I don't know how to say that. Svidler sanctions, something like that. Indian broadcaster rips YouTube for bias and blocking its channel. Welcome to the club. S&P, Fitch, and Moody's withdraw Russia credit ratings. Saudi-led coalition launches new operation in Yemen. Miner backed by Gates and Bezos to start drilling in Greenland. Russian warship fires caliber missiles. Biden meeting with Ukrainian ministers revealed. Gas payments in rubles would backfire on EU sanctions, says experts. Let's see. Hungary responds to Zelensky's appeal for support. Let's see. Ukraine conflict could spark food riots in poor countries, says World Trade Organization. West will pay a price for Russian clampdown, says ex-army chief. Government promises to bail residents out of rising fuel costs. Not you, United States. A number of EU countries' farms at risk of closure revealed. No, we're not gonna be doing none of that nonsense in the U.S. like helping out its citizens. We're gonna be sending billions to Ukraine. Yeah. Methane leaks at U.S. petroleum operations far worse than previously estimated, says a study. No, I don't want hookers. I get these spam text messages sent to my phone. I don't know if I did that one or not. Number of EU countries' farms at risk of closure revealed. I don't know if I read that or not. Still on yesterday's news, by the way. YouTube bans Russian pranksters who tricked UK ministers. Poland should claim Russian region, a general says. Post-Cold War world order is over, former Russian president says. Japanese PM makes claim about Russian nukes. You know, the thing that probably concerns me the most is that there is going to be a new world order. And any way you look at it, and I'm not saying that in the, George Soros kind of way, but any way you slice it, there is. And I don't know about you, but I'm a bit uncomfortable with China and Russia being at the top of that world order. I don't know. Turkey intercepts naval mine floating near Bosphorus. And it would glow in the dark if it was phosphorus. But anyway. Ukrainian defense minister cautiously optimistic after talks with Biden. I don't see how anybody could be optimistic about anything after talking to Biden. U.S. brands India's response to Ukraine war unsatisfactory. I mean, how could you feel anything? You have to be able to understand him to feel anything other than confused. What the hell did that guy just say? Somebody wiped the drool off his chin. Let's see. Kremlin responds to latest insult from Biden. Putin cannot remain in power, says Biden. You got a whole nation saying the same thing about you, buddy. Azerbaijan launches airstrikes in Nagorno-Karabakh as tensions flare. EU foreign policy chief says Iran nuke deal is very close. West must avoid pushing Russia towards China, top EU diplomat says. No shit, Sherlock. Wow. Now, how do you suppose we do that? Because I think it's a tad late. Let me know, lad. Let's see. European retail giant won't leave. Oh, we're to this morning's news. Hang on, I gotta have a sip of coffee. I mean, maybe if maybe if we wrote a bunch of your mama jokes, Russian your mama jokes in Mandarin, and then leaked them, maybe that would do it. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, this morning's news. European retail giant won't leave Russia. Japan baffled by demand to pay for Russian gas in rubles. Trump makes Biden Ukraine claim. A top insurer drops logo over Ukraine fears. Everybody's scared of the letter Z now. Dollar share drops in global transactions. Surprised Zorro hasn't gotten canceled. Oh, wait. Zorro already was canceled, wasn't he? That's right. They canceled him a while back, I do believe. You know, the gay blade. Dollar share drops in global transactions. West accused of double standards on Ukraine. Of course, probably the majority of people have no idea who I'm talking about when I say Zorro. I don't even know who I'm talking about when I say Zorro because I've never watched the movie one damn time. I was not into that kind of stuff, but I know who he is. Let's see. France eyes up floating LNG terminal, says reports. Donbass Republic mulls attempt to join Russia. Yemen's Houthis offer Saudi Arabia a temporary truce. Most Brits expect problems paying heating and energy bills, says the media. Australian PM explains refusal to meet China's envoy. Schumacher okay? I accidentally put out a sports headline. That's what that was. UK reveals what could get crippling Russia sanctions lifted. A Russian diamonds ban not on the table, Brussels says. President calls his country last free tribe in Europe. India bucks global trend of shunning Russian exports. Macron reacts to Biden's Putin butcher comments. Turkey warns against burning bridges with Russia. Zelensky suggests that his Western allies lack courage. And this is what I've been saying. You know, this guy keeps going back and forth. 1 second, he's begging us to help him. The next second, he's insulting us. Like the disgruntled ex-boyfriend. Hang on a second. All right. Let's see. U.S. gas boost to Europe could spell disaster, says environmentalists. Moscow investigates alleged footage of Ukraine troops torturing captured Russian soldiers. Ukraine wants Russia out of international atomic watchdog. Blinken denies regime change strategy against Russia. A venue chosen for Russia-Ukraine peace talks. Georgia rejects Kiev's call to open second front against Russia. Ukrainian mayor appeals to Germans. Russia is bombing graves of your grandfathers. And that is the headlines. That's all I got. I don't have a lot. Like I say, my advice is sew up those loose ends. Go through and just go through and do what you need to do. Go through your bug out bags. Make sure your batteries are charged. Just go through your things. Make sure everything's good to go. If you got the ability to add to what you have, now's the time. It's hard to say how much anything is going to be available. Or how much longer, I should say, that anything's going to be available. I definitely now wouldn't take now to ponder on getting things that are necessities or that you feel would be a necessity. So I don't know. I don't think we got a whole long time. That's for sure. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll keep an eye on everything as usual. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night to report on it, and I hope to see you there. Hope you all have a good night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.